So today's video is going to be on depression and suicide as a whole. This video is going to be probably about 30 to 40 minutes in length, but I'm putting that video on hold. I don't want to make it right now because I feel as if I would really not present my points clear and stuff, so therefore I'm putting it on hold. I'm going to wait probably till next week or the week after before I make this video. But today's video is actually, I received last week in my mrepsion@gmail.com email address, which is, I guess, I have this email address for people to send me emails of whatever they want, whether it's religion, anything really. They can send me stuff and I will in fact read it. I get so much stuff in that email though that I cannot respond to every email individually. I do read it, I just can't respond to it all. But when I was reading it, I stumbled across this email which struck out to me. They asked to remain confidential. They didn't want to be known, and I asked if I could do a screenshot of what they said, and they said they preferred me not to. So I'm going to respect that wish. But I will be reading part of the email which I did get permission from him to talk to and quote. I recently got my girlfriend pregnant. She is 16 and I am 17. I don't know what to do, as I feel as if I'm not ready to have a child of my own. I don't want to be a father yet, and she wants to have the child. I've been trying to convince her to abort the child, but she refuses to do anything, and I am freaking out. Do you have any advice for what I should do? This is just part of the email, and was near the end. There's a lot more to it, but I'm just going to answer this part of the email that he sent me. I find it really strange that earlier in your email you claimed that you didn't want to get her pregnant. If this is so, why didn't you use protection? Because this is partially your fault. If any person, no matter what their age, if they're going to have consensual sex, if you're going to have consensual sex, you are putting the risk factor of getting a woman pregnant. And if you're not using a condom, or she's not using protection, or she's not using birth control, the act of consensual sex raises the chance of getting her pregnant significantly, especially if you're not aware of her ovulation period where, she ovulates. I want to ask you kindly, what in the world were you thinking? You said you didn't want to get her pregnant, yet you got her pregnant because you didn't use protection. And I also realize that protection sometimes does break or does fail, but for the most part protection while having consensual sex usually works. But it's also just not your fault. It's also part of your girlfriend's fault, because if you two are going to have consensual sex, why didn't your girlfriend say to you that she won't have sex with you unless you have protection? I mean, this is not just your fault, this is her fault too, because both of you had consensual sex, both of you didn't take the effort to think about it before you had sex, and now she's pregnant and now you're going to have a child. Both of you are at fault here. As for what you say here, I don't want to be a father and yet she wants to have the child. That's too bad, because if you got her pregnant, you need to step up and you need to take the responsibility to take care of that child. I don't care how old that girl is. The fact that you got her pregnant means that you, as a 17-year-old male, needs to step up. You need to take the responsibility, rise above the thing that you did, which was getting her pregnant, and you need to support and take care of that child. I don't care what you say to me. I don't care if you don't have a job. The point is, if she has that child, you're going to be partially responsible for taking care of that child because you got her pregnant. So my advice to you, get a job. I don't care if it's working at McDonald's, if it's working at Dairy Queen, or making just barely minimum wage. You are 17 and that is old enough to get a job. Now I realize that we have a terrible economic time and it's very difficult to find a job. And I understand that, but nonetheless, you need to start searching for a job, and if you don't already have one, get one, because when she has that child, you're going to be partially responsible for taking care of it, along with paying child support. You also say near the end of your email, I've been trying to convince her to abort the child, but she refuses to and I'm freaking out. I just want to say that it's not your place to pressure your girlfriend to abort a child. If she wants to have an abortion, that's her choice, but for you to pressure her when she wants to have the child, is just wrong in my opinion. I don't think that's right at all. You should in fact be behind your girlfriend in having the child since you did in fact get her pregnant. One thing I do not tolerate among men or women is when a woman gets pregnant, she has a child, and then the father, who maybe is 15, 16, 17, is so young and not mature enough that he runs away from the problem instead of facing it head on. They run away, they break up with their girlfriend, say, I don't want any part of raising the child that I made, that I had consensual sex with you, we didn't have protection, I made a child, and I don't want to take the responsibility to raise that child, so therefore I'm going to end the relationship and I'm going to dump you. I've known people and I've seen people do this many, many times, and this really not only enrages me, but it just makes me want to grab that guy and just shake him and say, what is wrong with you? If you take the effort, you take the time to make a child, whether it's accident or not, without protection, you are responsible for raising that child. Again, I don't care what age you are. It's your responsibility as a male for making something which now is going to be part of your life. That's just my opinion. So, I realize this is kind of a straightforward video, but the fact that this person is asking for advice, I'm trying to give you my honest advice to this situation. Take the responsibility for that child and raise that child and get a job to support that child. With that said, I'm Mr. Repzion, also known as Daniel Sulzbach. Thank you for watching.